is
Yeah, so
the
pick it
group
up.
assignment. Hello, so this is the group assignment for teaching EFL systems. We are Nicolas Morales as a student, Francia Jaramillo as a teacher, Gilberto Silva as a professor, and Febe Sire as an employer. So, hello everybody. Today we have a really special guest to just talk about and discuss about a really interesting topic, which is the use of AI. I would like to start this conversation by telling you what I think about AI. To be honest, as a student, I think that AI is a great tool. It's one of the best inventions of humankind. I think that AI is great for students because it enhances learning. How does it enhance learning? Well, it saves time, it improves task realization, it makes some tasks easier. For example, if I do not understand an exercise or what to do in a task, in an assignment, I could just ask ChatGPT, Gemini, hey, could you please explain this in dummies terms? And then I would understand. So I think AI is a great tool. It also saves some time. Sometimes I just tell ChatGPT to complete a part of my job. It helps me save a lot of time. So that's why I think AI is a great tool for everybody. What do you think about it?
Uh,
Well, Nicolas, I agree with you. So, but let me tell you my personal opinion. As an English teacher, I am concerned about the excessive use of generate AI in English classes. While AI can be useful, many students depend on it too much. This reduces opportunities to practice critical thinking, writing, and communication skills. Language learning requires effort, mistakes, and interaction, and AI can interfere with the process. And also, students often use AI to write things, complete assignments, and answer questions. As a result, they practice less and do not develop their own language skills. Um, Many learners become dependent on AI tools and struggle to complete tasks without assistance. That's my personal opinions.
Okay,
it's
so short words, you disagree with what I think. Okay. Well, Gilberto, sorry for interrupting you. What do you think about it?
no, no,
Do
no,
you agree or
no.
not?
No, I was listening to my co-worker because she's a teacher, and yes, I was thinking about what you said, Nicolas. You are so happy about the invention of the AI, but I think you should consider as a student that there are some negative aspects on using the AI. I don't know if you know how to use well or properly the NI. Can you tell me a little bit how to use it as a student? For example, when you are making an investigation or finding what we call a prompt, how can you do it? Because as a professor, and I have seen with my students, if you don't know how to ask the question to the AI, you can commit many mistakes. So I would like you to tell me as a student, what are you doing about that?
Okay, so what I do, so you were talking about the prompt. I just ask like directly in very simple terms what I need. Sometimes I provide images. Sometimes AIs do not process images, so we have to write, and that's what you mentioned. It's true. Sometimes AI does not produce what I want because I may think something, but the AI may interpret another thing. That's because of the prompt. I think that, yeah, sometimes us the students struggle. I agree with that. I think that sometimes we struggle when it comes to writing the prompt to the AI. But I have a Gilberto, I have a question for you. So how could you integrate like or how could you address this problem of prompt writing in your classes at university, like I mean, to help students use AI effectively?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not easy. It's not easy because any person, students, teachers, or any person, employer that are using the AI needs to interact with the AI. So you as a student, you need to use the AI. You can prompt, you can ask for any task you need, but you need to revise. And this is the problem of a student because what is happening today is that the students are relying heavily, I mean strongly, on completing complex tasks. So you prompt the AI, but if you don't revise it, if you don't make an interaction, a correction, because you're asking for, I don't know, 2 pages. If you don't say to the AI that you need 2, 3 pages of something, or you need to adapt something to certain characteristics, the AI is, will not do it. It's gonna give you a general thing, and the problem is that students didn't or didn't know, they don't realize that the AI can make mistakes or can give you a wrong information. So that's important.
Okay, that's a great point of
Hello.
view.
Okay,
I
Phoebe, what do you
have
want to
I
say?
have heard all your point of view, but I would like to. Okay, I mean, the AI is a part of our society nowadays, right? But what happened with the person that doesn't that don't have internet connection or the accessibility to this type of tools if they don't have devices, for example, computer or the opportunity to buy an smartphone. Okay, it is a little bit strange nowadays, but there are people that doesn't have an smartphone or a computer. So what happened with those person,
Okay, so
those
I think
people?
that
Sorry.
before we move on, so I can connect what Francis says with the overuse of a. I now that I think about my own practice as a student, Francia, now I agree with you that sometimes as students overuse AI and that we can like obstruct learning by making AI like the main tool instead of a complement. Francia, this question is for you before we move on onto the Phoebe's point, which is about accessibility, about how do we access AI or the resources that we need to use AI. But Francia, how could you like change this? What would you do as a teacher in your classes? What would you do to help us students change this wrong use of AI as the main tool? How would you turn that into like using AI as a complement?
I recommend the students first trying to solve the problems independently before using AI as a support.
Okay, great. So,
I
okay,
think
so I
so.
think, great. So we can
I think
mix
so.
with points.
I think so. The same. I think so. The same. And I think that this increasement is due to a high time exposure to weird environments. I think that Phoebe is saying something that what is happening with not having these technological devices. But I think today there is a high percentage of students or people with technological devices. I think it's not little this kind of thing. So try to reduce this time exposure to virtual environments is a challenge. And it's a challenge because to work on this addiction, critical levels of isolation. And this is another thing as a professor also that I've seen on that there's an addiction that is bringing a high time exposure and a critical level of isolation. Today, the students do not work or they do not interact. And learning is a social exercise. So something that we have to bring on today is that learning is a social exercise. So if our students or we don't if we don't interact in the classroom, they are not going to agree on learning issues. And the learning is a slow process of comparing and exchanging ideas. So this is one of the things I consider important.
Okay, now that makes sense. Like if we take into account what you said and what Francia said, because he was talking about the overuse, using AI as a complement, and that overusing AI does not let students to develop critical thinking. And you said that if we like we're social beings, we have to work with real people in order to develop these skills. So if I think that if we mix or if we take both of your ideas, like we can get to a like maybe we can get later a conclusion on that. But okay, now
Of
that
course.
we are now talking again about critical thinking and skills developing, maybe this I need you to tell me something. Like how do you live like these employees use AI? How do you deal with that, or how does it affect you as an employer? Because what would be your point of view of, for example, hiring someone like me who uses a lot of AI?
Okay, I think as an employer, we have to try to be very careful at the moment you do an interview or hire someone like use um, the AI almost all the time, because you have to evaluate what are the skills that the person have. um for example, soft skills or any concrete knowledge. For example, if you are a teacher, I know that modern teacher that use AI, but as well you have to try um to adapt your plan to the reality of your students, because the student have many different ability skills, and you have to try to adapt your plan in order to help them. And of course you are going to use the AI, but at the moment you are preparing your plan, you are going to use your AI to use activity. But at the moment you are going to develop your plan in your classroom, of course you are going to be alone without any idea, with any support. But as well, you are gonna handle any situation with the previous knowledge that you have got from the AI. For example, if your student is frustrated, of course
Mm-hmm.
you are going to use an activity that help that frustration. If the student is lazy or sad, you are going to use any activity that help that the student at that moment. I don't know if you get me.
No,
But
I
of
agree.
course you are using
I agree.
the AI, but as well you are doing your part in the classroom.
I agree on
Okay.
that because if you rely a lot on the AI, we forget that students or employees are people and they have feelings and they have different state of emotions. So I totally agree on your exposition on your idea. I really agree on that.
Okay.
Okay, Phoebe, I have to tell you like two things. First, I do not agree with what you mentioned about like accessibility, because I think that I mean, yeah, I know that not every student or every person on the on the planet has a cell phone, but
I
at
know
least somebody has to have a cell phone.
yes, there is a low percentage, but there are poor people that they don't have the opportunity to get on a smartphone or computer or internet connection in my country.
Okay. So this is something to check on.
Okay,
Yes, it's something to check on.
but
And maybe we can
even
consider that there is a budget, economical budget. Maybe they cannot acquire this kind of uh, devices, but this is, I think, there's not a high percentage, low percentage. Sorry,
It's low
Nicolas, what you
percent.
were going to say?
okay, okay, no, don't worry, Phoebe. Even though I did not agree on your previous point, I agree with what you said. Is that maybe what we can do with AI is like to check what we get and not just like leaving everything onto the not like relying entirely on the AI. I think that would be like maybe yeah like a better good strategy to maybe implement AI. And with this, I want to ask Francia, it's like what would you like? How could you like Francia in your classes? Like how could you like work with your students to maybe use AI, but not underdevelop their critical thinking? What would you do? Or how could you create like this awareness on them? What would you do to maybe create awareness on your students and do not let them lose their critical thinking skills?
Well, sometimes I speak with my students and I recommend. So, first of all, try to do their things themselves, or if they are using the AI, at least read what the AI gives to them. In some activities, sometimes I teach them how to use the AI because it's important also to know
Mhm.
how to use AI.
Mhm. Yes, we need to teach
Okay.
our students. It's something important to teach our students how to use the AI, the ethics on using the AI. Okay.
Okay, great. So maybe to just like close, because I think that we all
Uh-huh.
like had some agreements. Okay, so I think that we all agree on that maybe a challenge on AI is like teach or create awareness on people on how to use AI properly, like how to use it like for the best and not just like relying entirely on AI. And like we could adapt or use many strategies in class to do it. And this also like helps for example like different enterprises, what if like the field of Phoebe. And yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah.
think that that would be like a like every that would could summarize like more or less everything that we talked about in this debate. So
Yes.
guys, it was great to having the
Yeah.
discussion with you.
Yes, it was a good time. Thank you very much.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Bye
good
bye.
topic. Bye.
Bye.
See you.